Hello and welcome back to another video. Now, here on the day 2, step 3, build a simple Shopify app following this tutorial, right? So, in the last video where I explored about the Shopify app development, so I looked at the Shopify app and an overview of that. Sorry. Uh, we're here. So Shopify provides you CLIs, APIs, and guidelines to help you build high quality apps that are performant and secure, right? So they also have things like build for Shopify, which is guidelines that provide for developers so they can stick to the guidelines on how to build Shopify for the platform. And then, so understand what a Shopify app is. Okay, so it allows you to extend the Shopify functionalities, where now this is most of the time done by third-party developers. So most common uses are extending the Shopify admin dashboard, as well as building or create a unique buying customer experience, or fetch data or pull data from Shopify store to your app, platform, or extension. And then I look right at how, for example, then I look at how these Shopify apps fit in Shopify. Okay, so when a user install your app and interact with that, so as a developer, you can is add functionality to extend and enhance the customer experience, or to enhance the merchant's experience uh, in under inside of the Shopify admin dashboard, or the Shopify point of sale, which is something that I don't know, but I will figure it out down the road, and integrating with third-party service. So, such as, for example, business-to-business payment solutions, or any other Google Analytics, for example. So any other marketing tools. So the key capability of this are like that. So this is how this app fit in Shopify. And then I explore is the Shopify app development. Okay, so like what are the requirements to build a Shopify app? That you need to create something called a partnership account, as well as the development store. Okay, so once you do that, follow the requirements that they so you must need to use for that tutorial a Node, Git, for example, which is here, the overview. Node is here when you create the app. Okay, so here what we did is just to create an app. So I follow is this recommendations or the requirement here. Okay, and then so how you can create a new app, as well as start the local development, install your app, this local app, in the development store, and then add and publish, which is this, and then add and publish product to your development store for testing. And also I follow certain subtlety, especially when you're creating your development store. Okay, so depend on which type of store you choose, It can be, so you can grant ownership to the merchants or not. And right now I'm looking at the start building your app by populating data to test your app against design your user interface with Polaris. If you remember, this is part of the tools that creating an app, a Shopify app, allow us. Okay, so Polaris or which is this guidelines of how to build Shopify apps. Okay, for example, like this in the intro. Okay, the app design guidelines. Also, interacting with Shopify APIs. Again, we're extending the functionality from Shopify and configuring webhook so your app stay in sync with changing data, pulling data. So let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. So before that, let me see what are the recommendations that ChatGPT mentioned from this step. Okay, step 3, build a simple Shopify app. Okay, choose a simple idea and such as custom product recommendations, models, and follow the simple app development tutorials to create and test your app locally. Implement features like API integrations or authentications and data retrieval. So this is the things that ChatGPT told me to do, right? So this is the apps, okay? And since right now I'm going to build is an app example. So in this tutorial series, you will build a Node app that you create using Shopify CLI, and you will end up with a working example that enables users to create QR codes for certain products and track number of scans for each QR. Okay, so this is the features that I'm going to implement. Okay, or you will end up working with example app that enable users create QR codes for certain products and track number. Okay, create QR code and track number of scan for each QR code. Okay, so this is now here on the step 2. This is actually step exactly step 1. So build. So to avoid this is step 2. That's right, and this is a step 3. Okay, and now this is a step 4. Okay, which is build build a simple Shopify app. Build a simple Shopify app. That's right. There you go. Build a simple Shopify app. There's some couple things that I would like to put here. So capabilities. So following build an example app here. So build an example app from Shopify docs. We are going to implement is enables users to create, allow users to create QR code for certain products and keep track the number of scan. Okay. And track the number of scan. Okay, and track the number of scan for each QR code. This is a very monotonous task that all e-commerce actually does, especially if they have physical product. If you have physical product, you need to create a QR for a particular product and then track the number of scan for each QR to deduct from the stock or from your inventory. Okay, so you deduct that from your inventory. Okay, and keep track the inventory. Okay, especially once you sell that. Okay, so automatically it will track the number of scans for each code and update the inventory. Okay, actually it's very straightforward. So QR codes can include certain discounts and can link to either online store and can link to either the online store product page or directly to checkout with the product added to the cart. Okay. Okay, so QR can include certain discounts. For example, here, let me put now the same number. Okay, so QR can include certain discount. QR can include certain discount. Okay, and can link to either the online store product and link. Okay, so QR can include certain discount. Link to either the online store product page or directly to the checkout with the product added. Oh, interesting. Okay. Link to speed up and to streamline the purchase. Okay, to streamline the buying experience for a customer. Okay. Link to the online store product page, links to the online store product page, or link to checkout directly with the product added to cart. Okay. All right. So now that things are much more easy to understand and digest here, okay? So about the QR code example, so we have designed the QR code example app to demonstrate some of the pattern, components, and features that are common in Shopify. Okay. So highlights. Okay. The highlights. Demonstrate and learn. Demonstrate So demonstrate demonstrate and learn patterns, components, and features. Okay, so demonstrate and learn patterns, components, and features common to Shopify. Okay, so now that I know what are we going to build, which is QR that allow the user to create QR for certain products that can contain discounts and either can have a link to a product page or directly or a link to directly check out with a product added to a cart. With a product added to a cart. Okay, and the high level concept that we're going to learn by building a Shopify app or a simple Shopify app is the patterns, the components, and the features common to Shopify. All right, so the QR code app address a real world mentions, needs, and integrate seamlessly with the Shopify admin user interface. So users can create, view, and edit. That's right. So users can create, view, edit, or delete QR code using the app. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So we have designed the QR code example to demonstrate some of the pattern component and features that are common in Shopify apps. The QR code app express or the QR code app address real world components merchants needs and integrate seamlessly with the Shopify admin user interface. Users can create, view, edit, and delete QR code using the app. So first is the component libraries. The app uses Shopify App Bridge and Polaris component libraries. And I think that most of them are written in React. Shopify App Bridge. So App Bridge enables Shopify apps to render outside of the usual app surface and communicate with the rest of the Shopify admin. The Shopify admin is the back office where users manage their business. Shopify apps, the back office. Okay. Shopify apps are embedded within the admin so that they can seamlessly integrate into user workflow. So Shopify are embedded within the admin so they can seamlessly integrate into the user's workflow. So the Shopify admin provides a surface for embedded apps to render the UI. On the web, the surface is an iframe, and in the Shopify mobile app, the surface is a web view. Interesting. The App Bridge library provides UI components to enable Shopify apps to render outside of this surface. Both within the above, the Shopify admin. App Bridge components don't actually render a part of the app component hierarchy. They are React-like wrappers around JavaScript message that communicate with Shopify admin. The Shopify admin does the actual UI rendering. Okay. So App Bridge components don't actually render a part of the app's component hierarchy. They are React-like wrappers around JavaScript message that communicate with Shopify admins. The Shopify admin does the actual UI rendering on the server side, as I'm assuming. The app use an app bridge action. Okay, components rendered by Shopify. Components rendered by Shopify. Shopify admin rendered by Shopify. Okay, an app surface rendered by the app using Polaris. For example, App Bridge. I think this is one of the another concepts like App Bridge, Polaris, development stories, API libraries, and GraphQL. Okay. This is another concept. Okay, this is part of the architecture of the app. Okay. This is part of the architecture. So for example, App Bridge enables the Shopify admin to do the following on behalf of the app. Render a navigation menu on the left of the Shopify admin. Render a navigation menu on the left of the Shopify admin. Render a model that appears above the app, blocking input on the entire admin behind it, and provide a surface inside the model for the app to provide custom content. Render the contextual safe bar above the admin top bar. Okay, the contextual safe bar provide a temporarily full screen surface that the app above the rest of the admin UI. For use in a specific situation, use the Polaris full screen bar so that app users can exit this mode. App Bridge provides this functionality through actions. Apps can invoke this action using vanilla JavaScript function as well as React components and hook wrappers. Inside the app surface, we encourage you to use Polaris. Exactly. Inside of the app surface, we encourage you to use Polaris to create familiar and consistent user experience for users. Your app should import the Polaris React library, which defines the component for the Shopify admin. Then follow both the app design guidelines and the broader Polaris guidelines to create familiar and consistent user experience. But it's because this app right now, okay, apps, GraphQL, admin, REST admin API, themes, Liquid and Ajax API, storefront API, Hydrogen. Okay, so right now I'm looking at the app architectures. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me see if I get it. So the Shopify App Bridge, okay, enables Shopify apps to render outside of the usual app surface and communicate with the rest of the Shopify admin. Okay, but this is for rendering. Okay, so Shopify App Bridge allows or enables Shopify apps render outside of the usual app surface and communicate with the rest of the Shopify admin. It's because building Shopify apps is extending the Shopify functionality. One of them is extend the Shopify admin dashboard. Okay. Extend extend the Shopify admin dashboard. Exactly. For in this case, if we want to extend the Shopify admin dashboard and we want it to render components or application outside of the usual app surface, Shopify App Bridge allows to do that. So the Shopify admin is the back office where users manage their business. Shopify apps are embedded within the admin so they can seamlessly integrate into user workflows. So the Shopify admin provides a surface for embedded apps to render their UI. On the web, the surface is an iframe, and in the Shopify mobile app, the surface is a web view. So the Shopify admin provides a surface for embedded apps to render the UI for embedded app. So App Bridge components don't actually render a part of the app's component hierarchy. They are React-like wrappers around JavaScript message that communicate with the Shopify admin. Okay. So App Bridge are React-like wrappers around JavaScript message that communicate with Shopify admin. And the Shopify admin does the actual UI rendering. Okay, so component rendered by Shopify, and Shopify admin rendered by Shopify. Okay, and the app surface rendered by app using Polaris. Okay. Yeah, and the app surface rendered by the app using Polaris. So app surface rendered by the app using Polaris. So for example, App Bridge enables Shopify admin to do the following on behalf of the app. Render the navigation menu on the left side. Okay, all of this. Okay, the App Bridge that allows to render Shopify apps outside of the usual app surface. So the App Bridge enables to render the navigation menu on the left side of the Shopify, render a model that appears above the app, blocking input and on the entire admin behind it, and provide surface inside the model for the app to provide custom content. Render a model. Yeah, please illustrate me. Okay, models. Render a models for that. Shopify App Bridge, create app, and they have its actions. Model options. This is where you can create this. Create an iframe model with a relative path. Open and close a model for that. Add footer button as well. Subscriptions. Unsubscribe for all. Unsubscribe from only models. Update options. Update footer button. Set model size. Set model size automatically. Okay, and this is playing JavaScript and then with React. Okay. Interesting. Okay, allow you to render app navigation menu, which is part of the App Bridge, Exactly. Plain JavaScript or React components. For example, go with this. Mm-hmm. Label home destination, label about. And the component for this. Add link for the items. In the setting links, create navigation menu with no active link. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So navigation menu, model, contextual save bar, and all of these are part of the app bridge. Exactly. So plain JavaScript, React hook, React components. Interesting. And also with React, use contextual save bar, set option, discard options. Okay. So if you want to build Shopify apps that are resilient, future-proof, easy to maintain, I will rely heavily on JavaScript. I would prefer rely heavily on JavaScript. Yes, it is more, it is a little bit more code. However, you're making sure that you're working directly on the platform, the language itself, not on a wrapper. Okay, there is a trade-off because uh, a lot of things that can be easily done with a few lines of code with React, we can is done. Uh, so we need to have. So we need to set more Java. So we need to set more line of code. Mm-hmm. The full screen, which is another part of the app bridge. Mm-hmm. Enter the full screen, exit the full screen, and unsubscribe when components are unloaded. And now it's using ESM. Exactly. Awesome. Awesome. Refers to design guidelines for full screen mode. App Bridge provides this functionality through actions. Okay, and again, App Bridge, just to wrap my mind around this. So App Bridge is a way to render Shopify apps outside of the normal or the usual app surface. Okay, outside of the usual app surface and communicate with the rest of the Shopify admin. Okay, so this is very narrow specific. So App Bridge enables Shopify apps to render outside of the usual app surface. Okay, to render outside of the usual app surface and communicate with the rest of the Shopify admin. So the Shopify admin is the back office where users manage their business, and Shopify apps are embedded within the admin. Okay, and Shopify apps are embedded within the admin. They are embedded within the admin, so they can seamlessly integrate into user workflow. Okay, so these Shopify apps are embedded into the within the admin, so they can seamlessly integrate into the user's workflow. So the Shopify admin provides a surface for embedded app to render the UI. On the web, the surface, and this is important to hit the break here to understand the concept first. Okay, so again, I'm looking here at the architecture of Shopify apps. Okay, so Shopify app, and again, remember, Shopify apps allows to extend Shopify functionalities where third-party developers most of the time build on Shopify, and for most common use case like extends the Shopify admin interface, right? So to extend the Shopify admin interface, that's one. Okay, so to extend the Shopify admin interface, as well as create buying experience for customers and pull data from the Shopify store for your app, platforms, or extension. Okay, so doing this, right? Again, one of the if you want to know how Shopify apps fit into Shopify, is in the Shopify, exactly. So the user workflow is when a user install and interact with your applications, you can, as a developers, enhance the customer experience by developing and adding features, or the merchant experience in the Shopify admin interface, or in the Shopify admin dashboard, or the Shopify point of sale. Okay, as well as integrate with third-party service, for example, business-to-business payment solutions like Stripe, PayPal, that kind of thing. Okay, oh my god. So this is an architecture that allows you to do this. So you have Shopify Bridge, development stores. Okay, so you have Shopify Bridge, Polaris. A design system includes design pattern and guideline, including a library of UI components, tokens, and icons to build apps in the Shopify admin. Exactly, in the Shopify admin, because after all, you want is to, for example, enhance the merchant's experience like this. So inside the app surface, we encourage you to use Polaris to create familiar and consistent user experience. Your app should import the Polaris React library, which defines the components for the Shopify admin. Then follow both the app design guidelines and broader Polaris guidelines. But again, Polaris is a design system that includes UI libraries, tokens, and icons to build app in your Shopify admin. Okay. They also look at the development stores. Okay. is a free Shopify account that comes with few limitations. As a Shopify partner, you can create an unlimited number of development store. Okay, and then I have is the API libraries like Shopify API Ruby, Shopify API JS. Okay, Shopify official node library for interacting with the admin API. Okay, with the back office, with the admin dashboard. Holy hell. The GraphQL admin API explorer, which is something that this is something that we must do. This is completely something that we must do. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. GraphQL admin API workshop. This is how you can interact with the admin API using GraphQL. And then some best practice, like the performance, accessibility, internationalization, mobile first, and embedding, avoiding deceptive coding practice. Practice that Shopify considered deceptive, obfuscating code, manipulating search engine. And this is just for the best practice here. Alright. The developer tools. Okay. And then you got is the checkout, the online store, selling strategies, flow. I think this must be for the to customize their store through automation, payment, fulfillment, and Shopify markets. Business to business, that's right. Shopify point of sale and channels. Marketing, even blockchain. Holy fuck. NFT distribution. Okay. Token gating, authentication. Okay, so how you can authenticate with OAuth. Alright. Creating the partner dashboard or CLI. Yes. Embedded app. Yes. OAuth and session token. OAuth only and access token. Okay, I get it. I know why. Webhooks. Okay. App extensions. Custom data. Shopify functions. And deployment. Exactly. You might want to make your app code available to Shopify outside of your development environment. The web app to a hosting solution. Apps deployed to a hosting solution can always be accessed by your users and won't be interrupted by changes to your local development. Deploy and publish an app extension. Distribution. App billing in Shopify App Store. Okay. So for the first $1 million charging for your app, Shopify billing apps let you charge merchants a one-time fee for your public app, or you can charge them for an ongoing subscription. So for the first $1 million you make a year, you pay zero revenue share. For additional sales over 1 million, you pay 50% revenue share until the end of the year, when your revenue share resets to 0% again. Because they know that a business that do $1 million and over, that's a legitimate business. That's a legitimate business. And that means that your business, if your business do $1 million, meaning that it must do like 80,000 things, must do 80K monthly for that to be considered now a business. Holy hell. A business doing this is like, damn, son, this is a fucking huge a lot of money. And then our new question. So what are you gonna do with this huge amount of investment and money? You know what I mean? Holy damn, son. Okay. How much a Shopify developer made? According to this. Yeah, the average Shopify developer earns anywhere around 93 per year, according to ZipRecruiter. On the lower end of the earning spectrum, about 6% of the developers earn between 43 to 56 per year. On the high end, around 3% of top performers earn between this amount. Notably, the amount you make as part of the existing agency will usually depend on the various factors, including how much experience you already have as a developer. If you're in higher position with the team, you're more likely to earn significant income. Your earning potential will also depend where you are employed. In Texas, the average earning for a Shopify developer are closer to 83K per year, while in New York, this way increased to 102 per year. But it says you work for the store tasker Shopify expert. Become a Shopify expert. Exactly. Build a perfect Shopify store from scratch. You can work hand in with companies to design all kinds of application themes and tools, or simply optimize their Shopify website. Sell apps and themes. Join an affiliate program. Customer story, Hake from Snip. And I think they don't use Shopify to do this. They don't do they do they use Webflow. I love it. Expert Shopify developers and senior Shopify developer. Interesting. Mm, UX designer. Interesting. Stay nimble as you scale. Mm, okay. I get it here because it's just the amount of money that a Shopify developer does. And name. Uh, mhm. Mm, I know why a lot of people are in demand with the Shopify template, but at the end of the day, you need to align yourselves with a platform. Okay. Yeah, something that when I took the business to consulting course on how to become a business consulting freelancer, they mentioned that align yourself with a platform, whether it's Shopify and Node. And here, these platforms uh, join together. Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay, this is the Polaris. The component UI is exactly lead, box, call out car, divider, empty state, form layout, grid, horizontal stack, layout, legacy car. Okay, legacy stack, media car, vertical stack, legacy filters, autocomplete, checkbox, choose. All of these components for the admin. Progress bar, skeleton body text, skeleton body page. Okay. And the tokens for this, caption displaying text, heading setting toggle. All of these are deprecated. Okay. Selection and input, image and icon, feedback indicators, tables, list, navigations, overlay model as a React or HTML. Mm, mm, Okay. All right. Mm, okay. 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 All right. So this is the app platform. The app platform here. Okay. The app surface. Because this is getting started. Okay. Getting started is create an app. So once I create the app, okay, let's go step by step here. I start to build your app, okay, which is this. All right. So here I'm going to look at the most common, the most common patterns, components, and features that are common, most common patterns, components, and features in Shopify. Okay, so the component library, the app uses Shopify App Bridge, what allows you to render your Shopify apps outside of the uh, something they call the 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 app surface. Okay, in Polaris, which is the UI component library, an app bridge enables apps to communicate with the Shopify admin. Exactly. So App Bridge also renders important UI elements for your app outside of an app iframe. Polaris components are a collection of interface elements that can be reused across the Shopify system. Okay, and then download the app. So to view all the code used for the QR code example app, you can download from the source code. To learn about the code step by step, we recommend following the tutorial series. Okay, tutorial 1, build the app frontend. Tutorial 2, build the app backend. Tutorial 3, connect the frontend and backend and test the app. So what you will learn how to do the following tasks: create a UI using App Bridge and Polaris, build the API layer on your app, and integrate an SQLite database. Requirements for the following: follow the create app tutorial to initialize new app that use no app templates. Okay, install the code editor on your computer, Visual Studio Code or Atom. Okay, all right. This is the tutorial theories. So you can follow the tutorial series to build the QR code example. As you work through the tutorial series, you will create some files and add the code step by step. You will create the front end and UI first. Okay, the tutorial series. Build the app frontend. This section is part of a larger tutorial to build QR code example, and you need to read the overview section, which is build an app example. That's right. Okay. Where here they're gonna show me is the most common patterns, components, and features in Shopify. Okay. So you need to read the overview section before starting this task. At the end of this section of the tutorial, the frontend app will be completed and you will be able to see it working using mock data. In this section, you will use Node, React, Shopify App Bridge, something that I mentioned before, where this allows to render content outside of the app. Okay. App Bridge also renders important UI elements for your apps outside of the app iframe and communicate with the Shopify admin. Okay. And Polaris, this UI component library. To build your app frontend. The frontend consists on 3 pages. The app homepage, use the Polaris Slash component to display safe QR codes. The create QR code page enables app users to create a new QR code that targets either a product page or populate a populated cart, add a discount code to the QR code, preview the QR code destination, and download the QR code as an image file. The edit QR code and enables app users to modify the delete existing QR code. Okay. All right, so let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So step one, start your development server. Okay, so let me start my development server. Like this. The development server is already running. Press P to open your app's preview in the URL. Okay. That's right. All right. And here we are. Okay. Step 2, add an empty state and loading markup to the app homepage. The homepage is the first page that app user interact with when they open an app. To start, you will create a custom empty state for this page. The empty state displays in the home page when there are no saved QR codes. So the empty state display in the home page when there are no saved QR codes and act as an introduction to the app for new users. So the empty state includes a button that lets users to create a new QR. You can also include loading markup on the home page to indicate to users that your app is loading content. The homepage empty state and loading markup use the following components. We strongly recommend clicking through the documentation for each component to understand what they are and how they're used. Use navigate, title bar, and loading, as well as the Polaris. So this provides functionality. This provides functionality. Well, functionality that communicate with the back office of the Shopify admin dashboard. Well, this provides this cards, empty state, layout, page, skeleton body text. Create your home page with an empty state. So open web frontend page index like this. Okay. On the front end, all right. On the index here, which is the entry point for this, because there are multiple files named index.js, ensure that you're working the correct index.js file, which is that route, front end page index.jsx. Okay, which is the home page. Add the following code. Add an app bridge use navigation hook to save your navigation function. This function modifies the top level browser URL so that you can navigate within the embedded app and keep the browser in sync on reload. Card sectioning, loading, skeleton body text. Okay. So in your browser, verify that the loading markup appears. So meaning that if I copy all of this code, okay, so if I copy all of this code and save this, now let me look at here. We are now able to see the QR codes with this. Okay, interesting. In the web from page index.js, set is loading to false. Frontend page set the loading to false. Okay. In your browser, verify that empty state appears in the app, meaning that if I set this to empty, to false, I have this. Create unique QR codes for your product. Okay. Create the QR code form. Components enable users to create and edit QR codes. The form enables users to do the following. Select a product QR code. Select the QR code will point to a product page or populate cart. Include a discount code in the QR code. Preview the QR code destinations and download the QR code as an image file. Delete the QR code. So add a dependency. You need to add Shopify React form to your dependency. It is used to manage React form by providing custom hooks and is therefore required to build your form again. And is therefore required to build your form components. In a terminal, navigate to your app directory and then navigate to the web frontend directory. Okay, so navigate to that. Let me close this. So navigate to the web frontend. Okay, and install that form. Okay. That's right. And then create the form components where now React contains this functions. Polaris is going to make use of all of these UI components. This is how you can interact with the Shopify admin dashboard. Polaris contains also icons, and this is to authenticate. Hook, use authenticate, fetch. And this is a custom hook that includes in the Shopify Notes app template. Shopify React Forms is where you're going to use this. So in the web from components directory, create a new file called QR code. Okay, so let me create a new file called as you mentioned. So in the components, create a new file called QR code this. All right, so we're going to create a new file called this and add the following code. Import custom hook for form, import the user authentication fetch, no discount options for this, no discount codes, and you got all of this code that will be inject here. Okay, holy moly, and some functions related to this view. So I save this include the form components in the components index. Okay, update the app's components index to export the new QR code forms that you created here on the index of the component. Now export that form, QR code form. Okay, create the QR code page. An app can contain several pages. The QR code apps has 2 pages in addition to the index. All right. Used to create new code QR, and then to create this existing app. About routing in the Node app templates, use a file-based routing. Okay. To make creating new page easier, any .jsx file that you add to web front-end page becomes a URL. Each of these files must contain a default export that is component. If the URL entering in the app can be matched to a file in the page directory, then page/not-found is rendered. This functionality is powered by vite import.meta.glove and React Router. So if you want to create that, okay, the QR code app has 2 pages in addition to the index. Remove the template example page. So if you take a look, if I navigate to this, then I say remove this index directory, delete page name.js, page name like this, open the front end. Okay, I already delete that. Open the web front-end app, which is the entry point of your application. On the front end, remove the navigation menu. So before and after, remove the navigation menu, which is this. Okay. Query provider, navigator provider. You're going to now add routes here to the page. Okay. Or remove is the navigation menu. Exactly. Is remove navigation menu from this. All right. And the page is removed from the sidebar. Add the page to the create new QR codes using now this functionality from App Bridge, Polaris for page, and add components the QR component for you create in the previous step. So this is if you want to add a page to create new QR codes. So in this route directory, create a new directory called QR codes. So create a new directory called QR codes, web front-end page. Because it follows this file-based routing mechanism like this, .jsx, I'm assuming is that. No? In the web front-end page directory, create a new directory. It's a directory. Sorry. Create is a directory here. A directory called QR codes. In the new directory, create a file called new .jsx, somewhat similar to Nox, and add the following code to the file. Okay, I saved it. In your browser from the app home page, click Create QR to navigate to the new QR code. An empty form appears you can set a title, select a product, and view the QR code destination. So if I go here, exactly, I need to run the server again, but from here, nope. Let me run the server again, the local dev, the Shopify, the app, Shopify development. Uh, mhm. Okay, so show now the store for that, which is actually sending information to that, so you can render your store. Okay, that's right. So now if I click on the create QR code, I should be able to use and see this. Okay, interesting, because this is part of the routing navigation. Okay, and add page to edit QR codes. And add page to edit codes. So now navigate dial. So navigate to this. Please take me to there. Like here. Okay, and create a directory for call this, where I'm going to add the following code. Here, I'm going to add this following code, but this is to handle is to edit a particular code. Exactly. So if you browse it from your apps to home, update the browser URL to navigate to the QR1, and you should look something like this. The page should look like the following screenshot, not the progress bar at the top of the page, which is provided by the App Bridge loading component. So if I navigate to this, like, no, but it's not new, it's in fact is QR codes, but one, okay, oh Jesus, I can see this, edit code, and in the web front-end page core, set is loading to false. Okay, set is loading to false. To preview the page populated with placeholder data, refresh the page and the page should look like the following. So if I refresh the page, okay, the page should look like no. Shopify my app, apps, the name of the apps. So apps, the name of the apps, /1 here. No, no, because it's QR code. Like this. QR code 1. And the you get is this. Okay. That okay, because as total what you're doing is to improve is the, in this case, the merchant experience. Okay. You're improving is the merchant's experience. Holy shit. You know what it means? Like, holy shit. So it must look like something like this. Step 5, add a list component to the home page. So for that we need to go to the front end. Okay. And install is two libraries here. The React hooks as well as the day.js. And creates the list component App Bridge, Polaris icons, Shopify React hooks, and day.js. So in the front end components here, you're gonna create a new file called QR code index. Okay. QR code index. In the components, you're gonna create a file called this. On the component, on the component, you're gonna create a component called QR code index and add this code, this React code. Include the list component in the component index. Update the app's component index to export the new QR code index. Exactly. Meaning that inside of the component index or the entry point, you're going now to export that QR code index, include the list component in the home page. Meaning, so go to this. Go to this file, which is the entry point of that page. Okay, import the components code. Okay, and set the QR code to use. Add a variable set QR codes directly after that. Add a variable that. Okay. The variable is already added. Set the QR code to use in list like this. This is the markup. Okay. Include the QR codes index markup in your page. Add full width to the page component. This line controls whether to display the page using a full width layout depending on whether the QR code exists. If a QR code exists, then the page will use a full width layout. Add the QR code markup inside of the layout section on the page. Okay, so once you're going to return the page here, so on the page you're going to return is the title, the QR, and primary actions, and this is what you're going to return as a full width. Your file should look like this. That's right. Exactly. and then test the list component with mock data. Replace the count with the following. Okay, with mock data, the QR code, that's right, the QR code with mock data, and in the browser view your app in development store that should look like this. So if I go back here and then I say performance run dev, like that, and I hit now the preview code here, which is reloading the page here, entering in the Shopify app, and then you got it. You can see is the list of code with mock data. And all of that, just click on one of the QR listing to it, then edit QR code page load with the same placeholder data for the previous steps. Exactly. From the previous step. One of the great things is that they add all of this UI component library. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And then next is build the backend. Configure the database to store QR codes. Add the API layer for app. Okay. This actually is pretty straightforward. It's less code than the other. And then connect frontend and the backend. Update the edit page to get the QR code data. Step 1, update the edit page to get the QR code. Okay. I get it. I get it. And testing and deployment. Okay, so that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye-bye.